Hey guys, Jeff with Westcott Designs. We just finished up this 2024 Land Cruiser, and it's really cool, not because it has our parts on it, but there's some other parts on it that I want to share with you. All right guys, so we're gonna start up in the front, and this truck was at Icon Development R&D for about a month's time, and it's been out of R&D for a couple weeks now, out for testing on the road and stuff, and then it was brought to us and we installed our Westcott Designs roof rack and a set of rock sliders in it. But this has got, the lift that's in this is a set of coilovers, 2.5s. It's got about 3 inches of lift in the front with adjusters on the reservoirs. With this whole setup, as you can see, it's got clearance here in the front and the back. It is close, but I can get my hand behind here. So this is running a 285/70/18 on it. Obviously an 18-inch Icon wheel. It's running a set of Wild Peak AT4Ws. So this is a nice tire. It looks kind of aggressive on the sidewall here, but they're able to retain all the mud flaps in the front, or the splash guard in the front and the mud flaps in the back here with this setup that's on it. It's going back to Icon for a few more adjustments. They're gonna make an adjustment to the rear. This has a rear puck in it, does not have a rear spring in it right now. So it's got a rear puck to get it to sit the way they want. They're actually going to be doing a spring in this, but from what they say, this is between a 5 and a 6, stage 5 or 6 on this truck with the way it's set up. It's really nicely mounted up here in the front corner. It's tucked in tight. They did remove the splash guard behind it, which I think they're trying to do is design it so they can keep the splash guard in there so it doesn't expose the engine department on the side. I'm gonna step around here and start talking about some of the things that we did to the truck as us. We talked about a roof rack and our rock sliders on this, but this is a set of DOM TIG 20-degree rock sliders we did. These are direct bolt onto the frame. It's nice because it uses all factory holes. We do open up the holes across the bottom of the rail or the frame. It's a box frame, and then we open up the bottom of it. And the reason we open up, we take it up one hole size, and that's so we can get the inserts in the frame. And what that does is allows when force is added to the rock slider here and actually bends up on the rock slider, as it tries to peel itself away from the frame on a traditional regular rock slider, what we're able to do is then have it bolt down on the frame. So as we pull up on it, it's trying to pull the frame sideways, which adds a lot of strength into the rock slider to keep that from happening. Hey, if you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe to our channel. You get to see all this cool stuff that we do at our shop. Come on, man, let's do this. Subscribe. People say, oh, can I run it without those bolts on the bottom? Absolutely, you can run it without the bolts on the bottom. But I tell you that you're losing a lot of strength if you were gonna go out and set your car on its side up on these rock sliders. But that really adds a lot of strength into it. So it is something, if you are gonna use them, put those bolts in. If you're not gonna use them and what they're meant to be used for, then don't worry about it. It's not something that has to be on there. As you can see back here in the back, we've got our kick out in this. You can see through here just how nice our welds are. We talk about that in a lot of our videos on how much time and pride and what we put into making our rock sliders what they are, the processes we use to make our rock sliders, and some of the extra steps that we take to make our rock sliders over any other company that's out there. We do. And I know people are gonna ask, oh, well, what are those extra steps that you guys take to make your rock sliders? Well, for one, we polish every piece of tubing inside and out before we ever weld it together. And the reason for that is so we have no contaminants on the tubing, so when the surface is welded together, we don't get any oil pulled into the weld, which then weakens the weld. So we polish every piece of tubing before we even bend it, before we even laser cut it. And then it goes on our laser, and that's so we can keep really tight tolerances on the copings and stuff like that. And the reason we want tight tolerances there is so we can add the same amount of weld all the way around the tube, and then at the same time we can try to keep the heat equal all the way around the tube, so it has just, when it cools and warms on the tubing, we have about the same strength all the way around the tubing. We're not weakening one single part on that tube. The other thing is when we take these over and they go over our powder coat department, we then sandblast the whole rock slider, and then what we do is we primer coat it with an etching primer, and we'll share some of that with you. It's a gray primer, it's really nice and works really well. Then we coat back over the top of these with BK59, which is a nice, soft texture finish, which doesn't take away from a lot of the detail. We're still able to share that detail with you on our rock sliders. where a lot of companies will put a big, thick amount of powder coat on it, and it's because there are imperfections and they're trying to hide some of that stuff. We don't want to hide anything. As you've seen in our rock sliders in the past, we used to offer them in clear coat, and that was really just to show off just how nice our welds are and how nice the quality of our rock sliders are. And those were videos that were probably a couple of years back, but we shared those videos with people because we wanted to show people what our quality, what our brand stood for, and why we do what we do when we build our stuff. Now we offer them only in black or raw, but that's because we couldn't get the clear coat to adhere to the metal the way we needed it to. So we decided it was just best that we just did away with it. So, but still same high quality, just hidden underneath that powder coat. So we've got the rock sliders onto our roof rack. Our roof rack is unique. And when people say to us, they say, gosh, your roof rack looks like it belongs on the vehicle. It looks like it could have come on that vehicle from the factory. And you're right, it does. If you look at the design in this fender right here, and you look at the design in the mirror here, that's all incorporated into the design of our roof rack here, designed into the roof rack here. So we've got this all contoured here. That matches the design of the wheel well. All these are kind of cut out to match the design of the wheel well. And one of the big things we're really focused on is wind noise. We do not want wind noise on our roof rack. We want to minimize that. We also want to minimize drag, and we want to minimize fuel economy loss on these trucks, because as you start to add all this stuff to the truck, you start to lose fuel economy. So what we've done is we've tucked this thing in really tight to the front here on the, across the front, and then on the side here you can just see how tight the gaps are on our roof rack from front to back. We just keep a really nice tight fit, and that's because we're trying to direct the air off the side of the roof rack and off this way. And then when it goes over the front of the roof rack, we're trying to eliminate the turbulence and the wind from getting up and going through the bars and stuff, and create turbulence, noise, squeaks. It'd be wind noise, just drives me nuts. But try to get it to move up and over the vehicle. And then here again, we talk about our hardware. All stainless steel hardware we use on everything. We always have, we always will. We never want to skimp on quality or like hardware stuff. So what we do is we black oxide coat them just so they really blend in, look really clean on there. And like we always tell people, we always stand behind our product. If there's something you have a problem with, something that's not right, please reach out to us. Yes, sometimes we're hard to get a hold of. We are very busy at the shop. I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't get a hold of someone down there. We are very busy. We have 4 people at the front counter all times. We sell more and more orders every single month. We're trying to keep up with the demand. You guys can't tell, I'm super passionate about our stuff. I'm passionate about what we do. So when I talk about something, sometimes I get a little excited in the way I talk, but it's only because I want people to understand that we don't just do this to make parts, and it isn't about how much the money we're making on the bottom line and how much money we're putting in our pockets. It's about knowing that we're building the absolute best quality parts out there in the marketplace that's in this market space. So when people say, oh, well, how does your stuff compare to this company or this company or that company? You know what I do? I look at all those other companies and say, how can I make our stuff nicer than theirs in one way or another? So that's what we try to do, is we try to build our stuff as nice as it possibly can be to make it that, and to try to find the things, the flaws that we see that we think that are out in some of the other products that are out in the marketplace, to make sure that when we make it that we're not gonna have that problem. Or, you know, like here, our roof rack. This is a one-piece roof rack. Could we make the roof rack in 2 pieces and put a seam in it here and send it in a smaller box to save on shipping? Or maybe think you're getting free shipping on that when we ship that, because it came in a box that I built in the price into the sale price of it, or the price of it, and you thought you were getting free shipping. The shipping is built into the cost of the product. But sure, I could cut my roof rack in half. I could downsize it down to 47 inches, like the crossbars that are on it, to save money for myself, and to save money possibly for the consumer. But for us as a company, I want this to look clean from front to back. I want all the screws to look symmetrical front to back. I want all the spacing on everything to look symmetrical. I want everything the way I want it, and I want to make sure that you get it that way as well. So that is some of the things that when we do stuff at our company, we look at things. Not how can we take a shortcut, how can we save money, how can we do this cheaper, how can we do this easier, but how can we do this nicer? And that's what we're all built on, is brand awareness of quality, quality, quality with our stuff. And when someone says, oh, well, this company's welds are as nice as yours, now don't flatter yourself. They are not as nice as ours. There's no other company out there that TIG welds rock sliders like we do. We pay to have the best guys working for us. We pay them the most amount of money to make sure we get the best work done and the highest quality stuff to make sure that our customers are getting the best stuff on the market. And yes, you are waiting longer for our stuff because there is a long wait. And unfortunately, there's more and more people that keep buying our stuff, and we appreciate them buying that. So it's not unfortunate, but unfortunately, that people have to wait for our stuff, and I don't like it. But I'm not gonna stimp on the quality of our products to speed up the process for people's orders to fall off on our quality levels. I'm just not willing to do that. I wanna make sure, because the problem is in today's world, that the mentality in today's world is today, tomorrow, I want it now, I want it yesterday, and I don't care what the quality is, and there aren't any companies that are today that really care or build their brand on quality. Everybody's building on how much parts I can make and how much money I can make and can I up my profit margin. We build our brand on trying to bring back the American dream and bring back the American products that are in this country to build the nicest products that are out there. Hands down. We want people to, we want to bring the bar up. The bar's down here, we want to bring the bar up, and we want those other companies out there to say, hey, Westcott's doing it. We've got to obviously start doing it. And so it makes everybody work a little bit harder to build their company a little better and build their parts a little bit nicer, because now they've got competition. We are competition. We haven't been on the map for very long. We've made a big dent in the marketplace, and we're going to make a bigger dent here in the next years to come. And it's when people get a hold of our stuff and they start sharing it on social or wherever they share it, they're going to realize and say, Westcott does make the nicest stuff. And I'm not going to have to be the one to say it. There's going to be other people out that are going to say it for us, that own our stuff, that have the experience of what we have to offer. Yes, sometimes we miss a phone call here and there, and we apologize. We're not trying to avoid phone calls by any means. We want to be here to help you and all your needs at all times. If it's on the weekend, I'm answering the telephone. My wife says, why do you have to answer the phone? I go, there's guys that are working on their stuff on the weekends. We want to make sure that we're there to help them when they're working on something that they're working on, that it's the only time they're able to work on it. So we want to be there to be able to help out in those times. So anyways, beautiful build here. Want to share it with you. Hope you guys enjoy it. The roof rack, the rock sliders, the lift, the way this thing came out, it's amazing. It looks so good with this Icon setup. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate each and every one of you that supports us and watches our channel. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe hear what you think of this new Land Cruiser. Oh, hot. That's hot. Are you guys subscribed to our channel? If you're not, let's get subscribed. Let's go.